Hey guys, Boone down south here. Today I'm going to give you my actual recap of what I think of the HECS hunting suit. Okay guys, let me point one thing out real quick. I am a HECS affiliate. What that means is if you use my link below, I would get a small percentage of the fee that when you buy this outfit. Doesn't mean you pay more for it or anything like that. It just means I get a small percentage for telling you about this product. Now let me clarify this though. Even though I am an affiliate, HECS does not pay me to make these videos. They did not buy this suit for me. I was interested in HECS and I started doing some research on it. I wanted to try it out. And at the same time, because they do have a YouTube channel, I was able to become an affiliate, which let me purchase this at a small discount. But nobody's paying me to do this commercial or anything else. But I think it is an interesting product, and I hunted with it the entire season last year's season, from archery season to the very end. And I've got some thoughts on it that I want to share with you. I've produced a number of videos on this of my experiences hunting with the HECS suit in South Carolina, in Kentucky, and in Alabama this year. And I just want to share that with you, and you might be surprised what I have to tell you. All right, first of all, guys, what is HECS? What's special about HECS? You see this outfit here? Looks like lightweight, some unique camouflage coloring, but what is HECS? If you go to their website, it kind of explains everything, and I'm not going to go into the details that you can see on their website, but HECS, H-E-C-S, stands for Human Energy Concealment System. The premise is that animals have more than just 5 senses. There's another sense where they can detect energy, the energy field coming off of other beings, if you will. That's the premise. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, that's kind of interesting. Let me research this. And I started doing some research and finding tons of scientific studies, especially with birds and whales and so forth, that show they have these electrical receptors in their brain area, and they can detect that energy. So the premise is that this suit creates what they call a Faraday cage, which blocks electric signals coming out from your body that we all produce, right? We have electrical signals that we have in our bodies, and it blocks animals from seeing that. So what happens when an animal sees you, they don't detect that electrical energy, and therefore they don't detect you as a threat. That's the premise. Now, in practice, I want to kind of show you what I found out with this suit. But before we get there, let's take a look at what we have. There's several different options as far as what kind of clothing you can purchase for your HECS outfit. All right, let's take a look at this. What I purchased was the light green camo outfit for the HECS suit. So basically I've got the long sleeve shirt here. It's got a shirt pocket. I've got the long pants that I've got, very lightweight stuff. The suit, if you buy the suit, the whole suit, you get the pants, the top, and the headpiece. In addition, I also purchased the HECS gloves as well to cover my hands up, because I need a pair of lightweight gloves anyway. So there's some heavier weight outfits that you can purchase, and I decided to go with the lightweight ones, and I think that was a good call for me, because that way, early season, when I started using this, it was September, it's hot out. This is all I wore. I didn't wear anything beyond the HECS suit. So if you watch my videos that I filmed, this is all I was wearing. As it got colder, I just put layers on top of it, because this doesn't have to be an outer layer. The idea is that what this is made of, with the Faraday cage woven into the fabric, if you will, that's blocking electrical energy, so it doesn't matter what you have on it. So being the lightweight outfit, I can have this in the warmer seasons, especially turkey seasons right now. We got turkey season coming in. I'm going to tell you, with turkeys, wow, okay? Turkeys don't even give you a second look when you're wearing this outfit. I'm just telling you, that's what I learned during deer season. But golly, I'm telling you what. That's the kind of suit, when you get it packaged, this is my dad, because of what I did, he just ordered a suit. Again, they ran a special turkey 10% discount that they ran for anybody. It may be still going on, I don't know. But here's how it comes packaged. Tells you a little bit about the suit. He also ordered the gloves as well. And so it comes with all this stuff, material about it, and all the good stuff. So that's what it looks like when you get it packaged. When it comes in the packaging. This is what I've got. So from a garment perspective, that's basically what it's about. Now I want to talk about my experiences. All right, here's the deal, guys. Like I said, I started with it in September. I hunted all the way through the season. And I have some property of my own that I can hunt on that's right out my back door. So I do a lot of hunting typically. I'm 3 or 4 days a week. I'm going to be hunting during the season easily. Now, we did have a little bit of a bump because we got hit by Hurricane Helene, and it wiped out so many trees on my property, blocked access to my roads, to some of my hunting spots, and we had to spend some time just surviving, if you will, and no electricity and getting food and water and ice and those kind of things. And so it took a few weeks off my hunting season this year. But I still got a lot of hunting in. Come November, I did a hunt in Kentucky. In January, I went to Alabama for a late season deer hunt. Again, I wore HECS every single time I went hunting. I never went hunting without wearing a HECS outfit. Here's the first statement I'm going to tell you right now, guys. I will never hunt again without wearing the HECS suit. And that's no joke. I started out early on filming this stuff. I've got 4 or 5 videos out there, and I can put a link down to these videos. And just my experience is showing you what was happening when I was wearing HECS, what the reactions were. The very first occurrence I had, guys, I know it's turkey season, was 2 turkeys came out 20 minutes after I sat there, 2 gobblers, and they walked down to feed about 18 yards in front of me. And I'm like, well, I'm not hunting turkeys. I'm waiting on this 8-point that I've been catching on camera before the season started. And I'm like, well, let's see what happens. So I put my hand out there, and first I was doing, now again, had HECS all the way on. I'm sitting in a tree stand, and I started moving my hand just slowly like this. And I was trying to film it as best I could to show you that there's turkeys down there and I'm moving. And you know, the turkeys just were bobbing around, and every now and then one of them, you could see it look towards me. And as soon as it looked towards me, just look away like I wasn't even there. To the turkeys, I was invisible. And that's happened on more than one occasion. Fast forward to my last hunt in Alabama. It was the end of January in Alabama, and there was a lot of turkeys on this place. And I'm telling you, I think one of the last times I had turkeys come out, I was in a box blind, but they came out 10 yards in front of the box blind. There's probably 8 or 9 of them. And this time, it was time for me to go. I was ready to get down. We were supposed to head back to the group and everything and get our lunch and all that. And I said, well, you know, let's see what happens. So I put the glove, you know, I already have the glove on, and I'm waving my hand out the window, and I'm actually sticking my hand out the window, and they're not 10 yards from me. And there's 8 or 9 of them, and I'm actually moving more quickly like this, you know, with my hand, and just moving my head around. You know, I had the headpiece on, moving my head around, and these turkeys could have cared less. They could have cared less. Those turkeys did not leave that area until I finally got up and started making a whole bunch of noise, like packing my bag and all this stuff, you know, because I didn't put the chair back because I just didn't care. I didn't matter there. I was going to go. But as far as seeing me move, they could have cared less. All right, before I go any further, I know what some of you guys are thinking, because every time I put a HECS video out showing what's happening with HECS in the field, I get the same kind of comments every time. I get comments from people that have HECS, and they comment on what their experience has been. And I get comments from people who have never had HECS, and their comments are always the same. Hey, a fool and his money are easily parted. It's a gimmick. You're wasting your money. Yeah, go da-da-da-da-da-da. What an idiot. Falls for some gimmick. Da-da-da-da-da. I mean, nonstop, right? That's what you get from a lot of people who've never tried it. You know, you're looking at a $200 plus outfit. I get it. And those are the comments that I get. But it's always the people who've never tried it who have those comments. What I get a ton of, and you can go back and look at my videos and just kind of scroll through the comments, you will see comment after comment. I've been using HECS for 10 years. I'll never hunt without it. I use HECS all the time. It absolutely works. HECS absolutely works. And that's the comments that I got on my YouTube video. And I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't know if it was a gimmick or not starting out. I mean, I like to try new things. I said, let me try it. Let me see what happens. But after using it the whole entire season, here's the deal, guys. While I hunted with this suit as often as I did, and I had a lot of deer spot me. Okay, don't get me wrong. I mean, sometimes I'm in kind of open places where I've been spotted. I did not have a single deer, not a single deer the entire season, hunting 3 to 4, maybe 5 days a week from September 15th through January 1st here in South Carolina. Not a single deer blew at me and started stomping like crazy and blowing at me and taking off from seeing me. Not one. That has never happened before. Now, I'm not saying I didn't have deer blow at me, because I have deer that I didn't even see, where they were coming in downwind, and all of a sudden they're blowing. They're like 50, 60 yards away through some thick stuff. They couldn't see me. I couldn't see them. So, but for deer that spotted me, not one of them went into that mode where they started blowing and taking off. Not one. As for the whole season with as much time as I put in, and I've seen a lot of deer, because I'm usually on my property, I'm hunting for certain deer, which means I'm seeing a lot of other deer. I'm letting them walk, a lot of does. At the end of the season, we start getting into groups of does, 7, 8 does, right? And that, you know, that main nanny doe there, that's the leader of that group, you know, she's one tough deer, right? I mean, those eyes are going, when you got 7, 8 deer, you know, that's, 14, 16 eyes, that you have to watch out for. Again, it didn't happen. They didn't blow, run off. And that's saying something right there. If you go back and watch all my videos, you can take any single example, a deer spotting me and staying around, and say, well, that happened to me 3 times this year. Okay. Every one of these incidents has happened to me that I've filmed. You could say, yeah, that's happened to me too. However, the issue is the frequency of it happening. When deer see me, and I know they're looking at me, they don't know what I am. Whereas normally they're most of the time, not always, because you can't get away with your camouflage. It does help you, obviously, and scent control and all that stuff, which is very important still. You need to have scent control. This doesn't help with scent control. It just helps block that electrical field. But what I've seen is that when deer spot me, they may not know what I am, and they're very curious, and they've been looking at me. In fact, in one video, I couldn't film the whole thing, but there was probably a 12-minute stretch of this one doe. And actually, this, if I'm not mistaken, this was the night I shot my 8-point that I was after hunting this spot for about 4 days in a row and seeing deer every night, some smaller bucks, even in the morning hunts, some smaller bucks, does coming every night. And every day, a deer would look at me because I don't have the best cover where I'm at, but every one of those hunts, deer would see me. But this one particular doe, she saw me and she does looking at me like that for a minute. And she didn't start stopping. She just looks at me for a few minutes, and I just stayed still. And finally, she's like, okay, let me get some food. And she goes down and grabs some corn, and she's sitting there chewing on the corn. And then she'd step back, and then she'd look at me. And while she's looking at me, she just stared at me while she's chewing. And when she got done chewing, she'd go back and get some more. And about 2 minutes later, she'd just watching me like she didn't know what I was. She wasn't afraid of me, and she's there for 12 minutes. So every couple minutes, while she's chewing, she just sit there and look at me like, what is that thing up there? And that's kind of the reaction. Let me throw another thing out. Every deer that has spotted me and didn't know what I was, every one of them, I would have had a kill shot with crossbow equipment, not a rifle at 100 yards. When I'm hunting close. I'm hunting within 20 yards. I usually set up my shots for 15 to 20 to 25 yards tops. So all the deer sightings I'm talking about are right there in that close range. So when they're seeing me that close and they're not taking off, and I'm telling you that even after they spotted me, I would have had an opportunity to shot, that means because they either finally forgot about me, could have cared less about me, went on about their business, and I would have been able to pull up and shoot, or they gave me plenty of time where they're watching me and they just went back to eating or doing something else and didn't care. And that's kind of activity that I saw the entire year. When I was in Kentucky, okay, this is what blew my mind. You know, I already suspected early on that this thing was working because of occurrence after occurrence after occurrence I've seen here. In November, when I went to Kentucky, I'm going to tell you, I was up in his tree stand, and I had that moment we all have, right? You're feeling like, oh, no, I got to do that thing, right? So I have to climb out of the tree stand, get down. I'm in a ladder stand. My GoPro 360 was still running up on the tree stand. I didn't think to turn it off because, anyway, I get down. I got a little bit away from the tree stand and you know, took care of business. And there I am on the ground. And it was pretty cold then. It was November. And I just pulled the HECS pants back up. I still had all the tops on. And as I go to stand up before I pulled the rest of my gear up, or maybe I did get the rest of it, I can't remember. But as I stood up, all of a sudden I've got a buck walking right at me. I mean, he's coming down this trail walking right to me. I'm on the ground. And he's walking right at me. Now, the wind was blowing from him to me back in this direction. And I would say in an arc about this big, from about here to back here, okay? He came and walked around me like this, and he was probably, 15 feet from me as he walked by. And he just slowly, cantered by, and about this much space from here all the way around to here as he walked past me at 15 feet, right? There was nothing between me and that deer. Not a bush, not a stick, not a vine, nothing. There was a little tree right here and a bush and some bushes over here, but there was nothing in the space as he walked by me 15 feet, and he never even looked at me. And by the way, I had an orange vest on, and if I'm not mistaken, an orange hat and an orange vest on at that time. But I had HECS on, and he walked by, he didn't even know anything happened. I'm like, oh my word, this is unreal. But to get back to it, this thing, I'm telling you guys, I'll make a bold statement. When it comes to hunting and things that have developed over the years, the HECS outfit is just as revolutionary as a tree stand and a crossbow as far as success in the field hunting. I am not joking there. It is that revolutionary of a product, and a lot of people think it's a gimmick and don't take advantage of it, and hey, that's fine. But I'm telling you right now, from my experiences, this absolutely works, and I won't hunt without it again. So again, I do have an affiliate link down below that you can check it out. And if you do purchase, I will get a small percentage of the purchase price and commission on it. But again, you don't have to buy this thing. I'm not pushing. I'm just telling you my experiences with it. My dad went out and bought his suit. I had another buddy that bought a suit after I keep telling him all these stories. I'm just saying, guys, it works. It works. It is not going to help you with scent control. It does have some camouflage to it, but you still have to, you still got to be still and not move. But if you are spotted, this thing can help you, because when they spot you, they don't know what you are. And that's really what it comes down to. And I got video after video after video of this sort of activity. So it's just unreal. And honestly, guys, it's something you should look at, because I won't hunt without it again after this past year. It's amazing. It really is. Anyway, just want to share that with you guys as an update. It's been a while coming, but I know it's turkey season, and I'm going to tell you, this thing definitely works with turkeys, no question. Better than deer even, because turkeys don't even look at you. That's been my experience with the turkeys that I've been around. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and we'll catch you next time.